Hello viewers, the children of God and the four corners of the earth. I, Igbala-ikehin, have a little message, and it's very important to share with my viewers, the children of God and the four corners of the earth, who are heavenly conscious. They are heavenly minded Christians, believers on the planet earth, who hope one day they will be rapturable, or when they die, they will be heavenly candidates. And what I want to speak on is simply the appearance of believers. Believers' appearance. As a child of God, it is not everything that our pastor or our GO or mommy GO are going to be preaching unto us on the pulpit. One of the things that they are not going to be preaching unto us on the pulpit is either we are having beers as a worker or a minister, living beers like an affair, or a worker or minister lady who wear trousers just like the worldly people, who put lipstick like the worldly people. Our dressings as God's minister, God's ambassador, speak a lot about us when we are in the midst of the people in the society, anywhere we find ourselves. So that is why many a times you will have to ask certain believers who are Christians if they are Christians or not, because of their appearance. And appearance matter most. Like today we were discussing after the Sunday school, we were meant to ask questions. So my own view concerning the topic we treated was that as God own ministers and workers, we are expected to have certain appearance, certain level of appearance as God ministers, that viewing you, seeing you as a child of God, without doubt you will be known as God's minister. Even in the Redeemed Christian Church of God, one of our doctrines is that whenever you see a God-owned minister, you don't need to be told. Then somebody told me that because that the GO, I've seen so many of them putting on certain things that are not laid down principle, mode of dressings, like our father in the law and mother in the law. Because it does not condemn them, that does not mean that what they are doing is right. As a child of God, like Paul Apostle tells us in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 11, if you read it from verse 1 to 10, it tells us about, particularly about women covering their head. See this message of covering head from the days of old. Even our old age mother, they know that when it is time to prayer to worship God, the next thing is for them to cover their head, either pleated or not. In these days, you see young believers with strange doctrines in the name of, because their spiritual father did not condemn them. Why can't you live by divine principle? Why can't you allow the will of God to be done? Those things we can simply correct. Why can't you go by them and follow the examples of our spiritual elders? The Yoruba adage says, "Ẹṣin iwájú ni tẹ̀yìn máa ń wò sáré." Why can't we follow the footsteps of our spiritual parents? Because the Lord has given them certain divine doctrines, divine principle, biblical principle, which are manifesting in their lifestyle. As we follow them, then the will of God will be done in our life as it is also done in their life. So the summary of my message is that as children of God, the way we live our life matters most. Our appearance also matters most because it tells a lot about us. What are we putting on as a child of God? Our dressing mode, is it according to the worldly dressing? Can people identify you and see you as a child of God without even telling them that you are a believer? Don't wait until somebody tells you that you need to correct certain style of your changes. If you, as a child of God, if your appearance is based on the worldly dressing, if you do any kind of things like your dressing mode or any style according to this world, based on based on what we call fashion, it means you are not heavenly conscious, and this unconsciously, without not knowing it, can take away heaven from you. A child of God who is heaven conscious, who is heaven minded, will never do anything in the name of fashion, in the name of I want to look like them according to this world. We live our life based on heavenly conscious spirits, based on the biblical teachings, and as our spiritual leaders has laid for us as a foundation. So this is the pieces of my advice to the children of God in the four corners of the earth, as we live our life to preach the gospel and minister to the life of the souls in the world, to bring them to the kingdom. Because our dressing mode also speak more about our preaching. We must not just be a preacher who says, do what I say, don't do what I live. We must do both in words and in action. May the mercy of God visit us and give us the privilege to be the doer, the speaker, and all the performance of the word of God in every areas of our life. As we all remain rapturable at Rapture, let your mode of dressing speak about you to the sinner, to the world, and we shall all be rapturable at Rapture in the name of the Almighty God.